Hey, good morning, everyone. Today is a video vlog for May 8th, 2025. It is a Thursday morning. I'm so tired, dude. It's a good morning so far. I woke up super groggy, like I was pretty close to just going back to bed. But I woke up and I texted my buddy Austin last night. I was like, hey, bro, this number that texted you, that's Ava. Coordinate with her. He's in town, and so I was like, coordinate with her so we can like get together and watch a movie or something, right? So he texted her this morning, and we talked about it, and they were just brainstorming what movie to watch. And then my little brother called me first thing in the morning, called me. Yeah, he called me first thing in the morning. He needs to go drop his car off at the shop tomorrow. So I know, new car, already cracked windshield, pretty crazy. So we need to go drop his car off at the shop tomorrow. He wants me to like drive there with him and then drive him back. And then go get it later, whatever, right? And then I laid back in bed for a little while, but I'd already taken my medication, so I was like, okay, I won't go back to sleep, just laying down for a little while. And then got up at like 9:40 officially, 9:43 or whatever, and then came in here, played some Kingdom Come Deliverance, and then till about 10:30, went to the bathroom because I had talkies last night, and that is a recipe for disaster. And then came upstairs, and I wanted to play some more Schedule One. I had just unlocked cocaine, and then was like trying to figure out how that worked. I didn't even know you needed to cook it, so I was doing that. And then let me think. Yeah, that was pretty much it. Oh, while I was playing Schedule One, I heard something happen downstairs, like some banging or something. I was like, what are the cats doing? And then I like heard a knock, and I was like, what? So I paused it, ran downstairs. Our front door is over here in front of our driveway. No one was there. So I like went outside, looked around the corner. I was like, what is going on? And on our side patio, he had knocked on the door, and like that door doesn't even like work really anymore. And so yeah, we had a good conversation. He was a landscaper, wanted to mow our yard or whatever. And I was like, now we already have one of those, but talk to me about this stuff. And we like have some weeds and you taking out just a few tons of weeds. And then I was talking about a dead tree, and so he was like, oh, my uncle does that kind of stuff. I was like, dude, sick. Shoot him my number, shoot me his number, it'd be awesome. And then yeah, so goals for the day: I need to brush my teeth, make a morning video log, make a recovery video log for last night because we ended up watching Vampire Diaries instead of making a video log, which I don't regret. Love that show. Oh, well, it's technically the originals, but the series. And then do some yard work, water the sprouts, work on the script. I still want to call Matt today or tomorrow, honestly, if I don't have time for it. And then edit and upload video logs. And then I've been writing 40 push-ups today and yesterday, and I did them and it felt great and it felt nice. And I'm like, it's pretty much it's gearing me up. It's like warming me up for RLRS. And I don't know if I want to do an intro for RLRS, like separate from the push-ups, and then just like record myself doing 40 push-ups, because 40 push-ups is 410 to 600 experience. And so I'm like, I'm kind of missing out on 600 experience every time. Is that right? What is 40 times 15? That sounds right. I'm going to do 40 times 15. Yeah, so 600 experience every time I do 40 push-ups not on camera, which is fine. I don't care. I'm just sitting here like, do I want to like have 6 separate videos of me doing 240 push-ups for my next levels or whatever, and just like kind of make it like that? Or do I want to keep doing it all in one setting? Because that was like super insane. So yeah, just something to think about there. I'm pretty much warming up for it. And my next RLRS video is like 139 push-ups or something like that, or 144 or something. So we'll figure it out when we get there. But for now, the 40 push-ups is a good warm-up. And probably just going to do them periodically throughout the day so I can get used to just being in the push-up position. But yeah, other than that, I'm going to make my recovery video log for yesterday. It was a very stressful day. It was fun. And then going to go do some yard work, probably just an hour. Probably take my shirt off because it's hot, and see if I can't get a sunburn or a tan or something. And then come in and figure out the day from there. So yeah, probably need to make some food, probably just fries or something. It'll be a fun day. For hot dogs and fries, I don't even know if those go together, but we'll see. Probably need to make hot dogs again. Yeah, I think our buns expire May 9th and it's May 8th, so gonna need to do that one. Yeah. Anyways, I will see you all in the evening. I hope you have a wonderful day.
One eternity later.
Hey, good evening, everyone. This will be an evening video vlog for May 8th, 2025. It was a Thursday. It was a pretty exciting day, to say the least. I don't know when I made... Oh, I know when I made my vlogs. So I woke up at 9:30, Corey called me and we chatted about something. I don't remember exactly what it was. I think it was me taking to get him his car fixed the next day. And then I cuddled in for a bit, played some Kingdom Come Deliverance, went to the bathroom, scheduled one, took a break for a landscape solicitor who came by, talking about my trees. And then I came upstairs and made my video logs. I made the morning and the recovery video log for Wednesday evening. And then I went out and did yard work, so that was around about to be noon. So I went out and did yard work, and then Ava woke up and came out and was talking about something. So we had a really stressful day on Wednesday, and one of our friends was like talking to her about it, and so we had a good conversation about it and resolved some things, and I think it was a really good conversation. And then so I was done with that at 1:30, and during that I was listening to a video on leaded gasoline, or leaded ethanol, ethyl fluoride, whatever it was called. And so I learned about like what an octane rating is. Like I had no idea about that. And then I learned about like when they put lead in gasoline and like how they still use it in aircraft, and like how they knew lead was bad, and then they would like show, hey, lead ain't bad, while like actively killing themselves. And so it was like the most dangerous invention in American history, and it was like the deadliest invention in American history, and it like affected like millions of people's general intelligence. Like we are dumber now because we used leaded gasoline, which is insane. That is bonkers. But so there was that going on, and I was like listening to that, and we were talking, and then I came inside and made some hot dogs for us. I made hot dogs and sausages. It was the last two sausages in the pack, and I think they might have been a little bad. So me and Ava each had a hot dog and a sausage to each other. Like she wanted to try the sausages, and I usually like the sausages, right? So I was like gonna eat them both, and then she wanted one. So we each had a hot dog and each had a sausage. And they're both hot dogs, right? And the hot sausages are just saltier than the hot dogs. And then we watched an episode of The Vampire Diaries, and then I played some Counter-Strike 2 before work, and I kind of had a headache, so I like took a Tylenol, and then we went to work, and I was like at work, and I was like, I don't feel good, dude. Like I'm really not good. And I remember like laying there and just being like, I'm so like out of energy. Like I don't feel great. I just had like a brutal headache. I don't feel good. So we think it was like some food poisoning or something. And then oh yeah, whatever. I was looking at the day before Wednesday. Well, the day before today, comma Wednesday. Anyways, so yeah, I was only at work for like an hour, dude. Like I left at 4:40ish, and was just like, I don't feel good, dude. I'm going home. Like I'm not good. So Ava and Yasmin worked the shift alone. They were great. I got home and started chatting with my mom for a little while. I laid on the couch downstairs and was just like talking with her for a little while. And we had some interesting, like, good conversation. It was really distracting me from like how bad I felt. One of the most interesting parts was I actually talked about it on Friday as well with our friend Austin. Was she had described herself as fat, and she was like talking like, oh, that teacher who always wears jumpers because she's fat or whatever. And I literally kind of had this moment of like, you and I have the same identity issue, Mom. Like we have the same identity issue in opposite directions. And she was like, what? And I was like, I self-identify as skinny, and you self-identify as fat. And I was like, I'm not that skinny anymore, and you're not that fat anymore. And I was like, you and I are kind of both at the point where it's like, if we wanted to become much healthier, we could easily, but if we don't become much healthier, it's not detrimental. And so I kind of like had this thing, and she kind of was like insisted a couple times, like, no, I'm pretty fat. Like a couple times before she finally got it, like, no, you identify as fat. But from an outside perspective, you're not. And it wasn't until like I explained mine, like, I identify as skinny. So when I'm on a video log and I go and stretch and do this, I don't believe that I have this. Like in my mind, I'm not muscular. Like that doesn't exist in my mind. In my mind, I don't want to show my tummy, but I have a bit of a tummy. Like, I don't have abs anymore, like, well-defined abs. And I'm like, in my mind, I do. Like, in my mind, I am a very skinny, with abs guy, no chest muscles, no arm muscles. Like, in my mind, that's what I identify as. But reality is different. Like, looking at myself, I'm able to objectively go, I do have muscles, I don't have abs. But my identity is different. Like, what I think of myself subconsciously is much different than what I look at myself and see, which I think is so interesting. We had a really good conversation about that, and she like kind of got it, and I was like, it's really interesting. Like, you're not fat. I would not describe you as fat. Like, just not. It's crazy. And yeah, so after we had our good chat, I went upstairs and I took a nap, like for probably hour and 30 minutes, 2 hours, dude. I woke up at 8, and I was just like, what time is it? Where am I? What's going on? Went and played some Schedule 1, of course, until Ava got off work. Our buddy Austin picked her up from work, and then drove her to the gas station, and we got they came and picked me up. We went and got some. Oh, I have an alarm going off to make a video log. That's crazy. Dismissed. So funny. And yeah, so they came and picked me up. We went and got McDonald's. I had a deluxe quarter pounder. It was actually really good, dude. That thing was smacking. It was like, it tasted like what I wanted a Whopper to taste like. I just dip it in McDonald's barbecue. It was so good, dude. Just crushing fries. I was so hungry after that. Like, I was really hungry. And so, crushed that thing. They were talking on the porch. Yeah, Ava, Austin, Corey. And then I went out and joined them. And then we all came inside and were watching a movie. And so we were watching until about 10:40. We were watching a Pineapple Express. And then, so we're sitting in our living room. And Corey is in a chair in the corner. And then on the couch is Austin, Ava, me. Like, I'm on the end. Furthest from Corey, right? And I'm literally just, like, sitting on my phone. Just, like, playing my game. Like, movie's kind of background. Like, I wanted to play my game. Just decompressing, right? And all of a sudden, Austin just goes, "Hey, bro, are you good?" And I looked up, and Ava and Austin were both just like, "Corey, are you good?" And so they like paused the show, and we're like, "Corey, are you okay?" And Corey just like looks at us and he goes, "I'm a little tired." And they were like, "Dude, you're like spazzing out there for a sec." And I was like, "What?" He spazzed out. Like, I didn't see it, right? They all saw him like spazz out. Apparently, he did something like, he like went to like go set like a bottle of Coke on the thing, and just like sat up a little too fast in the chair, and his blood pressure dropped like rapidly, and his he literally just did one of these like, and like blacked out for a second, like went fully unconscious for a second, and like shook himself away, like adrenaline, like fight or flight response. They called it a syncopal episode, syncope, which I thought was really interesting, syncope, and they come later in the story. They call it a syncope, and so he literally had like a minor fainting episode, and I was like, "What's going on?" So we were like, "Okay, water and potassium." It was like, "Yeah, you need a banana for sure. Go grab one." So I go in and grab him a banana and just like hand it to him, right? And he like was wearing his like big brown sweatshirt, so he like takes it off and like sets it down. I was like, "I'm so hot right now," and I was like, "That's crazy, bro." And so I'm like, I pull up another chair, so I'm like not sitting way to the side of him, like I'm like sitting facing him, and he's like sitting there just like nibbling on the banana or whatever, and just literally, dude, it's impossible to describe. If you could imagine this shoulder, like maybe a little bigger because it's on Corey, he's a bigger guy, just like, I'm talking just drenched in sweat, like glistening. And I remember just like looking at it and doing like a double take and just being like, "Oh my god, are you sweating that bad?" And he was just like, "Yeah, bro, I'm really hot." And dude, at that point, I like, after the minor fainting episode that I kind of missed, like, right, so I'm not like taking this like too seriously. I'm like, he's fine, he's conscious, and we're like asking him questions, and I'm like, "Are you feeling like nauseous?" And he's like not answering. So I'm like, "Bro," and he's like processing how he feels, right? He explains that later. But we were just like asking him questions, and he was just like, "Dude, I don't know what happened." Like, and we're like, "Do you remember like spazzing out?" And he goes, "No, dude." And he's like looking, he's like, "Why is the Coke bottle on the ground? Like, I just set it down. Like, why is it on the ground?" And he's like, "No, I don't remember. I don't remember." And I was like, weird. But when I saw that he was like sweating profusely, dude, I was like, "Oh, dude, we're going right now." I was like, "Get in the car, bro." And so I like ushered him outside, like helped him down. He was like going down the stairs real carefully, swung into the car seat, and we like took my mom's car, and I drove him to the hospital. And on the way to the hospital, I was like, he was more sweaty by the time we got in the car, dude. Like, he was like drenched in sweat, like literally imagine like half marathon amount of sweat, just like drenched, right? And so it was a super hot day, so my mom had the AC on full blast, cold ass air. And so we're driving to the hospital, and I'm like, all right, how are you feeling right now? And he was like, weird, dude. And I was like, okay, talk to me, tell me about it in case something happens again and I need to explain it. He was like, okay. He was like, oh yeah, we had asked like, what's the last thing you remember? And he was like, sitting here feeling like shit, dude. And so he said the last thing he remembered was he was just kind of sitting there and his vision like kind of like started going like down, right? Like you kind of like start like blacking out, like your brain is not really in like that groggy feeling you like when you first wake up and you're kind of like zombie mode, you're not really like intaking information beyond your eyebrows. And he was like, yeah, it was kind of like that, but I was like sitting there just like I don't feel that good. And then he was just kind of like, I remember like feeling a little woozy, and that was about it, dude. And I was like, that's crazy. Okay, so that, and he was like, maybe it was like the sugar. He had just eaten a bunch of like sweet tart ropes or whatever. Drank the Coca-Cola, sat up, like all this stuff. We're like going through everything, and I was like, okay, so you spazzed out. What do you remember after that? And he's like, I remember you just like, he goes, I remember sitting there feeling like shit, and then next thing you guys are just looking at me, asking if I'm okay. And so that made sense why his response was like they were like, "Dude, are you okay?" And he was just like, "I'm a little tired." Like he didn't remember going unconscious for a second. So we get to the hospital and we're like walking him in, and yeah, the ER guy at the front like checked us in really quickly, like super speedy service. It was crazy, and then checked us all in. And as he's like brushing in, he goes, "Yeah, I gotta." He was like, "Patient 2 is a syncope." I'm like, "What? What is that?" He like fainted for a second. And so turns out he had a syncopal episode. Syncopal? Syncopal, it might be. Syncope. Whatever. He had a minor fainting spell. And so we were like talking with the doctor about it, and he was like, it's just low blood pressure, probably, dude. Like, it's either a super stressful environment or a really relaxed environment where you're like, we kind of described it as like you're still conscious, but your body is like ready to sleep. Like you're slowing down, right? And he was like, really just need more water and more potassium. That's all you can really do. And we were like, yeah, Ava said that one. She's always right, for real, always right. And then what else was there? Yeah, they were just like talking us through it, and we like Corey Googled the common like side effects of syncope, and it was literally like nausea, profuse sweating, minor memory loss, fainting, minor spasms, like literally exactly what he went through. And I was like, that's crazy. And they were like, it's not like uncommon and it's not concerning. It just you might just be sensitive to it. And so we had like a fun little hospital excursion, middle of the night. Hold on, my pants are really hot. And then we had like a really crazy hospital excursion. So we got home, dropped Corey off, got him some McDonald's on the way back, and then solid burp. Got him some McDonald's on the way back, and then yeah, went and I was just chilling on the couch. Austin had already left. They'd finished the movie, and Ava was on the phone with Aurora. Aurora had called her for advice, and then like devolved into an argument somehow. So they were still chatting on the phone, and then I got home and was just like letting him finish the conversation, and then they went from like the argument to like regular conversation, whatever. And so I went upstairs and was just playing Schedule One, and so I was literally playing Schedule One until like 3 in the morning when they were done with their phone call, and then I brushed my teeth and went to bed, and woke up at 7 the next day, and I was just like, oh my gosh, dude, life is life, and so because we interrupted our hangout with Austin, we were kind of like, yeah, let's go like get breakfast or lunch tomorrow. So we made tentative future plans with him, and I was just like, dang, that's crazy. And so I'm glad I did stay up till 3 because my mom woke up at like 1:30, and I went downstairs at like 2:30 and like explained the whole situation to her, cleaned up all our mess downstairs, and was just like, yeah, all this happened. And then I kind of just was like sitting there, like, it's kind of crazy to think like just 5 years ago, Corey and I were both in high school, and now we're like I'm to a point where I'm like able to like be responsible and take my little brother to the hospital, take my adult younger brother to the hospital when we're having like weird concerns. I'm like it is so crazy that life just kind of happens like that, like it just goes by so fast. You know, it's just it really blows my mind. It is crazy to me to think 5 years ago I was a 16-year-old kid. 5 years ago Corey was 14, and 5 years later, take him to the hospital for a syncope episode. Crazy, dude. Crazy. Like, life just happens. Just happens like that. And then, like, what, like, if that's what I was doing 5 years ago, and this is what I'm doing today, what the fuck am I facing in 5 years from now, dude? Like, it's crazy to think that life just happens like that. So, yeah, that's probably the daily thought for the day is, like, life is so strange. Life is strange, dude. Good video game, but life is strange. So, yeah, I hope you all had a wonderful, wonderful Thursday, and I'll see you all tomorrow morning. Have a good night.